어제는 세계인권의 날이었습니다. 세계인권의 날을 맞아서 북한의 인권 탄압과 그리고 잔인한 문재인 정권의 박근혜 대통령에 대한 인권 탄압을 유엔 인권위를 포함해 전 세계에 알릴 수 있는 우리공화당의 성명서 발표를 또 이어가도록 하겠습니다. 낭독에는 멋진 차세대 여성이시죠? 우리공화당의 최민선 당원님 모시겠습니다. 박수 주십시오.
Our Republican Party's statements on the 73rd anniversary of Human Rights Day. Dear UN Commission on Human Rights, Joe Biden, President of the United States, US Senate Committee on the Human Rights, and US House Committee on Human Rights. The Moon Jae-in's left-wing dictatorship begging for Kim Jong-un's dictatorship, the worst regime to suppress human rights. Moon's government has zero human rights. Kim Jong-un's regime is the worst regime violating human rights. Freedom to North Korea. People set North Korea free. Right-wing party in action, party to protect a liberal democracy system. Our Republican Party announced a statement. Today marks the 73rd anniversary of Human Rights Day. Every human being has an equal right. Freedom. Every human being has a right to freedom and the safety of their life and body. No one should be placed in a state of slavery or subjugation. No one should be subjected to torture or cruel, inhumane, or humiliating treatment or punishment. In addition, human beings are equal before the law. They have the equal right to be protected by the law without discrimination. All criminal suspects have the right to be presumed innocent under the law until they are proven guilty in public trials, where it guarantees everything to defend themselves. Above all, main clause in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But what happened during the 5 years of Moon Jae-in's left-wing dictatorship? The regime which hunted President Park Geun-hye, who was innocent, and did not take any bribe. This regime kept her in prison for 4 years and 9 months by violating human rights through trials. The impeachment of President Park Geun-hye was a coup d'etat based on false articles and was a challenge to the free democratic system. On October 1st, 2016, the 78th anniversary of Armed Forces Day, President Park Geun-hye said the people of North Korea will open the way for your hope and life. Welcome to the Republic of Korea, where you can build a new life of freedom. She opened the way for reunification of freedom. And during President Park Geun-hye's administration, the North Korean Human Rights Act was passed that many free arriving people North Korea refused and North Korean people prayed for. Jo Won-jin, the representative and presidential candidate of our Republican Party, proposed the amendment to designate September 1st, the enforcement date of North Korean Human Rights Act as North Korean Human Rights Day. But what is the present situation? UN General Assembly adopted a resolution on situation on human rights (GPRK) to improve the human rights in North Korea for 17 consecutive years. But Moon Jae-in's left-wing dictatorship regime did not list the Republic of Korea on the list of proposed countries for the resolution for past 3 years since 2019. Rather, Moon Jae-in's left-wing dictatorship regime has been begging countless times for Kim Jong-un's dictatorship, the worst and abnormal regime that suppresses human rights. Moon Jae-in passed a law to ban anti-North Korea leaflets, which is clearly unconditional and support Kim Jong-un and Kim Yo-jong siblings. Moon is oppressing the human rights of people of the Republic of Korea and North Korea, and he is only trying to please Kim Jong-un and Kim Yo-jong siblings. Recently heard shocking testimony from the North Korean refugee from the North Korean female army. She testified that 70% of North Korean female soldiers are victims of sexual assault or sexual harassment. Also, many North Korean human rights activists testified about serious human trafficking, violence, and crime in North Korea. Under the three-generation dictatorship inheritance in North Korea, it is committing the worst human rights violation. Many Koreans are suffering from hunger, assault, sexual crimes, forced labor, and detention without freedom. Hundreds of thousands are even trapped in political prison camps. We have a mission to achieve the 73 years of national founding of the Republic of Korea through the reunification of freedom. And that is also the reason why our Republican Party was founded as a fortress for the liberal democracy of the Republic of Korea. Currently, Moon Jae-in's left-wing dictatorship is trying to change the name of North Korea Human Rights Foundation to South Korea Human Rights Corporation Foundation, by revising the North Korea Human Rights Act to support Kim Jong-un's dictatorship in North Korea. Moon Jae-in's left-wing dictatorship insists the end of war declaration, and that is just a good excuse for Kim Jong-un, who seriously threatened the security of Korea Peninsula. Despite the recent joint statement by U.S. Congressman Chris Smith and other 34 members of the House of Representatives, which strongly oppose the end of war declaration without North Korea complete denuclearization. Our Republican Party contends the change of Kim Jong-un's regime, and we also oppose the end of war declaration of completely verified and irreversible dismantlement, civilian North Korean nuclear weapons, and the takeover of wartime control. A government without dignity cannot even say a word against North Korea. Even the North Korea soldiers killed the civil servants of our Republic Korea. Kim Il-sung's administration that stopped violent messages with unconstitutional measures persecuting efforts to improve North Korean people in virtual human rights. A government that ignores human rights by not agreeing on resolutions adopted by the UN General Assembly on the situation on human rights in North Korea, which all the countries in the world cooperate for. The deadly Republican retaliation government that confined innocent President Park Geun-hye for 4 years and 9 months, and the left-wing regime that followed North Korea nuclear to endanger the peace of the Korean Peninsula. The government has disappeared permanently. On the day of the 73rd anniversary for human rights, our Republican Party and Free Live people declare that we will take back the freedom and human rights which Moon Jae-in's administration stole, and we will never allow the regime like Moon Jae-in's which violate human rights in this land again. It's clear Moon Jae-in's left-wing dictatorship regime illegally confined innocent President Park Geun-hye, who never received any bribes for political retaliation. Candidate Yoon Suk-yeol, the former of unfair investigation for Moon Jae-in's left-wing dictatorship and political retaliation, must apologize before the people right now. Set innocent President Park Geun-hye free, who dedicated herself to people's happiness on December 25th, Christmas. In the name of human rights, let's put down Moon Jae-in's left-wing dictatorship on the table, begging for North Korea Kim Jong-un dictatorship, the worst regime that suppresses human rights. In the name of Korean people, let's punish Moon Jae-in's left dictatorship, which fully treats human rights of people and of the Republic of Korea, who faithfully serves Kim Jong-un in North Korea. Let's complete the great revolution for freedom, to restore the freedom and human rights taken away by Moon Jae-in's left-wing dictatorship. Freedom to North people. Set North Korea free. Let's achieve free unification. December 10th, 2021, the 73rd anniversary of Human Rights Day. Presidential candidate Cho Won-jin of our Republican Party and 450,000 members of our Republican Party. Thank you for attention.